All right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start with asking Mr. Smasinow to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Great job. All right. Minutes approval from May 25th. Any comments or questions? If there are no questions, may I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 25th, 2025?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Smasinow?
Yes.
Mr. Akari?
Yes.
Mr. Quillen?
Yes.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Chairman Terhune?
Yes. Next, I'd like to open the public hearing scheduled for 7 p.m. June 26, 2025 for 1394 Armor Road. The applicants are applying for 2 area variants to rectify a building encroachment on their parcel. The proposed variance coordinate with the proposed lot line adjustment, which would result in the need of relief for the side yard setback. For the barn, 10 feet proposed, 50 feet required, and a minimum lot frontage, 34 feet proposed, 50 feet required. The 2,400 square foot barn is located 44 feet from the side yard property line, shared with Jordan and Reed Keefe. An area variance was granted for the Zoning Board of Appeals on November 26, 2024 for 6 feet relief from the 50-foot side yard setback requirement established in the R2 zone. At this time, applicants and the owner of the neighboring property have agreed upon the proposed lot line adjustment. And the board did receive an updated contract to modify the common boundary line between Peter and Joan Zacheus, and Jessica Carter. And then at our May 25th, 2025 meeting, the project was classified as a type 2 action under SECRA, making this exempt from further environmental review. So will the applicant please come up and explain to the board what relief you're seeking and why?
Good evening. My wife and I, Joan, are seeking a relief on the 10-foot, pardon me, 40-foot on the on the barn, in order that we can transfer a piece of property the barn is sitting on onto my daughter's property, which is right straight ahead of it. So that is that's the first one. The second part of it is the fact that where the barn is located and where the land is located, I have to have a continuation of my property from my fields in the front of the back of my current residence around to the woods and to the fields behind it, would require a relief side of 16 feet or a 34-foot connection between A and B. I own both A and B now, but it would, in order to connect it all. And that's why we are before the board.
Okay. We can see it now.
Very good. Okay. Any questions or anything?
No.
Questions, comments? So we have 2 variances, the minimum lot to 34 foot, and then the side yard setback from the new proposed lot line adjustment to 10 feet.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Would anyone from the public like to make a comment? Anyone on Zoom?
No hands.
None. Okay. Does the board have, well, first, I'd like to have a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion, Chairman.
Second.
I'll second.
Mr. Smassino?
Yes.
Mr. Akari?
Yes.
Mr. Quillen?
Yes.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Chairman Terhune?
Yes. Okay, any additional questions from the board? Does everyone understand what they're looking for?
No.
No? Can you pull up that map?
Yeah, nice. Seeing this all.
Chairman,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I can hopefully
Please.
try to explain. The applicant was before the ZBA a couple months ago and was approved to bring the lot into compliance with zoning. He seeked relief from a side setback from the 50-foot required down to 44 feet. After that, he brought the lot into compliance through the ZBA's approval of that granting of it. Now the applicant and his daughter, Jessica Carter, want to do this lot line adjustment, which is on the maps that you have currently. And in order to do that, for Mr. Zacheus to have his a continuous parcel, which he has right now, he has to have connectivity under 180/20 in our code, and that minimum lot width is 50 feet. With the proposed application, the applicant is asking 10 feet off the existing barn, which would make the 50-foot width, which he was granted a variance, down to 44. His access would be 40 or 34 feet continuous from his front lot to his back fields. That's one under 180/20. The second request is he's changing the side setback with that requirement again from basically it's 44 feet down to 34 feet. So he's asking for basically 34 feet of relief from your previous or 50 from the code. I don't know if that helped, Mr. Chairman, or not.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. I
Thank
think
you.
it's
Yep.
fine.
Everyone else understands it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to go through what the zoning board of appeals shall consider during review of a proposed area variance, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties will be created by granting the area variance.
No.
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 Whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance,
No.
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 besides moving the barn.
No.
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 Is the barn on a slab?
It's a pole barn, it has a concrete floor, yes.
Yeah.
It can't be.
Yeah, I don't know if that's feasible. Okay.
Big barn.
So
Please.
what I understand from our last variance, we made that, we gave a variance so that the lot was in compliance, is that correct?
Yeah, so the barn was in compliance.
So the barn is okay, so the reason that we're doing this now is because of a lot line adjustment, is that why?
Yes, so the barn will be.
But the barn's taken care of, right?
Yes, but
That's not an issue anymore, I wanna know why
Yes,
you're,
the barn is taken care of on my property. Okay, and what we wanna do is transfer that barn to my daughter. With that boundary line agreement around the barn.
doesn't the variance follow the property?
variance,
Peter's property.
No, I
The-
understand that, but it doesn't matter. If you sell that property, doesn't the variance continue with it?
No.
Well, yes, I would
Yeah, the
assume though
variance
with the
runs,
lot
the
line
variance runs
adjustment,
with
it
the
would.
land. A variance is granted runs.
Basically, that everything is in compliance at this point. We're asking for something additional. I just want to understand.
Yeah,
Because it's not quite clear to me. So now, okay, so let's go back to why are we asking for this additional setback? The barn is all taken care of, as I
Well,
understand.
the barn was brought into compliance, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. The
Yep,
barn was brought into compliance from the side setback at the last variance request. He went from, it was 44 feet. And our required side setback is 50 in the R2. So Mr. Zacheus owns pretty much right now, the way that it sits without the lot line. Mr. Zacheus owns the barn and all the property that's on the map stated there, and where the red is proposed lot line adjustment. That's all Mr. Zacheus's property, which goes with the northern and rear parcels. Right now, without that, this is the proposed lot line adjustment, which you have up on the board right now. He's proposing to change the side setback from the approved 43 feet down to 10. And then he needs to have connectivity to keep the lot, the lot itself, he needs to have connectivity, and in our code under 18020, minimum lot width is 50 feet. And all he has with the 10-foot setback is the 34. So he's asking for those two, he's asking for from 44 to 10 on a side setback to the structure, and he's asking for from 44 for a 34-foot lot extension or lot width minimum from 50.
So basically, I'm just trying to get my head wrapped around it. Sorry for being a little thick.
please.
So basically what you're telling me is that to make that back property a lot, it needs a bigger roadway to it. Am I saying that right?
No, continuous, you need continuous 50-foot connectivity to maintain that, is what I'm saying. There needs to be a minimum connectivity from front lot to the back. Or if he were to just parcel that off, he would have a non-conforming lot. If he didn't have that connectivity, he creates a non-conforming lot.
Right, but if we, just trying to, so if we did nothing, the lot, that property would be fine. It would just be, he couldn't sell it as a separate lot. Is that correct?
No, the objective of the applicant, I believe, from talking to him over multiple times, is to with his daughter, do a lot line adjustment of the barn to Jessica Carter's property in the front, which would be to as you're looking at the map to the right, that where it says Jessica Carter, connecting that whole lot line adjustment area into Jessica's property so that the barn is right now, the way that it sits, it's on Peter's property. He wants to convey that. In order for him to convey that, he has to meet the area in bulk. So that's why he's before the board to address 180.
The contract for the 16.5.
Again, I did not read the contract. They have a financial agreement between the two, whatever that is.
Yeah.
They're here for two things from you guys as a board, and that is a area variance for a side setback and basically a variance from relief of 18020, which is minimum lot width, so that he keeps a compliant lot that he has.
Right, I was a little confused. When we first started this, I was told that we needed a lot of room for hay equipment. It wasn't.
I think he was addressing the width of the access road at that point.
But that's no longer an issue.
Well, with with what you have up there now, 34 feet in my estimation, our town roads aren't even 34 feet side to side.
So there would be no problem.
Yes, there would be no problem with a piece of farm apparatus to be able to navigate in a 34-foot span, and minimum fire code is 20.
Good to know what you're voting.
You sure? You understand what's going on? You understand What they're looking for, okay. Okay. The next is whether the requested area variance is substantial.
Yes.
Yes, I would agree. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
No.
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 And whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which consideration shall be relevant to the decision of the Board of Appeals, but not shall necessarily preclude the granting of the area variance. I think it might be in part because I think the barn was built slightly in the wrong spot from our first meeting.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay, so it's like slightly.
Kind of correct everything.
Okay. All right, any other questions or thoughts? Okay, if there are no additional questions or comments, I'd like to have a motion to approve the area variance as stated on the application for 1394 Armor Road.
I'll give that motion, Chairman.
The planning board. Last meeting. Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Mr. Smasino?
No.
Mr. Akari?
Yes.
Mr. Quillen?
Yes.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Chairman Terhune?
Yes. All right, thank you. Well, that is it. We'll have a resolution to you. You got it. Excuse me. All right, next I'd like to open the public hearing scheduled for 7 PM, June 26, 2025 for 11 Trieble Ave. The applicant and owner, Martin Foods of Burlington, is applying for a rear yard setback area variance in conjunction with a submittal to the planning board for a minor site plan modification. The applicant proposes to construct an approximate 1,100 square foot addition for an exterior receiving room and grocery storage area in the rear of the building. The 6.23 acre parcel is zoned town center with the airport district located immediately adjacent to the western property boundary. This property is also located to the runway protection zone overlay district. Pursuant to 18021, the transition requirements between the districts, the applicant is subject to the more restrictive rear yard setback requirements established in the airport district zone, which is 75 feet. The applicant is proposing a rear yard setback of 60.1 feet. At the May 14, 2025 Planning Board meeting, the Planning Board classified the proposed action as a Type 2 action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. On June 20th, 2025, the Saratoga County Planning Board submitted a request for additional information. The county's consultant regarding the operation of Saratoga County Airport has requested information regarding the finished floor elevation or datum to get an actual elevation from mean sea level to determine the elevation of the building. And this will be used to compare the approach surface of the runway to determine whether or not the proposed building addition creates any conflict with the operation of the airport. Okay. So will the applicant please explain to the board what relief you are seeking and why?
Good evening. My name is Rob Sasser with Time Bond Engineering. We're the site engineers for Hannaford Brothers and Martin's Food in South Burlington. The most recent plan that we had sent over incorporated some of the comments from the last ZBA. I don't know if you want to bring that up, but it shows the location of the proposed addition, the loading and grocery storage area on the rear or west side of the building. There's really no other location for this. It meets their operations for the site. We have widened the access aisle, included additional bollards. And so we're in the process with the planning board to review for a site plan amendment. And the request of relief we are seeking is the dimension from the rear lot line is reading 60.1 feet to this addition on the west side of the building. So I think we're just in the process of still gathering some information that would grant us this variance based on the county's review.
Awesome. And I think last meeting, were you able to speak with the fire department?
Chief Gates, we sent them a letter on May 30th. I've attempted to call him. We are waiting to get any feedback or review from him at this
Okay.
time.
Okay. Any questions?
Chairman?
Yeah.
I think we should just keep the public hearing open
You
until
know,
we get those answers.
answer from the fire department.
I concur.
I think he does too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we the county has 30 days to issue a recommendation. And obviously they need additional information. So we will be keeping the public hearing open. Okay, and I saw the new map. Was everyone able to go over there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, make sure. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I think we're, thank you. Oh. Are we gonna schedule for next month, come back?
We will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will keep the public hearing open, and then on July 24th will be our next meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Whatever materials we receive as a response.
Yep.
Should be important. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be able to review those, and then we can make a determination.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Would anyone from the public like to make a comment? Anyone on Zoom? Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Yep, we will continue this next
Yeah.
month. All right, next on the agenda, the applicant and owner Jeffrey Vedder is applying for a side yard area variance in association with the proposed construction of a 22 by 30 foot carport at his existing single-family residence at 258 Malta Avenue. The project consists of the demolition of the existing rear yard porch to allow for the new structure. This is a 0.27 acre parcel located in the R1 district. So will the applicant please, or representative, please come up and give us an overview of the nature of the area variance, why you're seeking it, what hardship you are experiencing, and what relief you're seeking.
I'm
Hello.
Brandon. I'm gonna be building that for Jeff. If it passes, he's looking to seek relief for the side variance setback. He's gonna be putting the carport over the existing driveway to park his cars on it in the wintertime. So I think he's looking for, I believe it's 6 foot. And that's pretty much it.
Can you talk to neighbors?
I have not personally talked to neighbors yet. Have you talked to neighbors?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if I may,
You
the
may.
applicant's house is a pre-existing condition. The actual footprint of the house is 12 foot from the property line. Therefore, the applicant came in to tear down the actual porch and keeping consistency with the structure that he has, the new addition. So he's not basically encroaching, but because of the placement of the new structure, he has to come before the board to make it right, similar to the last applicant coming before you. He's asking for 8 feet of relief from a 20-foot setback to 12 feet, which the house sits at the 12-foot mark. He's not encroaching more on the neighbor's property. He's just running with the property boundary line, and it's the one side area setback. If that helps.
That does. And I'd like to note the parcel as is small parcel, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
considered a pre-existing lot in the R1.
Correct.
R1 is basically with public water and sewer half-acre lots. Without, it's 1-acre lots. The house was built prior to our zoning restrictions, so it's a pre-existing non-conforming lot. I believe I know he has public water out there, but I don't know if he has it at his residence, and I don't know if they have public sewer that far out. Do you have public
Sewer,
sewer?
don't you?
Do you have public sewer and
Sewer.
water at the?
Yes, village sewer and water.
Yeah, so he's, it's half-acre lots with public water and sewer.
Yeah.
It's only 2 lots.
Yeah, I wasn't saying you had to talk to him, I was just curious if you had mentioned it, that's all.
2
I'm
lots.
sorry, I can't hear you. I didn't bring my hearing aid.
Yeah, that's okay. I said, if you had,
You gotta turn it on too.
Turn it on.
yeah, there we go. I said, it wasn't required. I was just curious if you had mentioned it to your neighbor, that's all.
And
That,
What you said.
oh, I said,
Wondered if you had mentioned the project to your neighbor.
Not the one on the right, but the one on the left on, they don't have a problem with it.
I didn't say
Yeah.
I did. I just was curious if you had talked to him, that's all. When we look at these things, if your neighbor says, hey, I'm happy with this, that makes our life easier. Does that make sense?
I didn't, the one on the left I did, yeah, but the one on the right, I don't ever see them hardly.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Like I said, it's not an issue. It's fine.
And currently as it sits, there's I don't know which one you had on.
The house.
Yeah, you have a porch. There's a small porch right now.
My existing home, this is the roof to the existing home, right here.
Yeah.
This is just a small 10 by 14 deck with a half of a roof over it.
Okay.
It's only half a roof. That's just coming off and the carport's is coming out this way. And as it does come out this way, it gets further and further away from the property line. This is the only little spot that.
Just the corner of the house.
But it comes out this way, so. it-
Okay.
Further and further away from the property, the person's property line.
And also too, this is a pre-existing driveway, that is where they park the cars.
Currently.
already.
Okay. Yep.
So it'll be going over top of that driveway. Yeah.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Good anticipation.
Looks
Okay.
like common sense.
Yeah.
Does the board have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you.
Can we vote now?
No.
We need a public.
Yeah. Does the board have any other questions?
No.
Makes sense. Everyone understands what he's
Yeah.
doing. Okay. Does the board feel that the application is complete?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. May I have a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
So move.
Second.
I'll second.
Mr. Smacedow,
Yes.
Mr. Akari,
Yes.
Mr. Quillen,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
Yes,
Chairman Terhune.
Yes. And may I have a motion to schedule the public hearing for this application for next month, July 24th, 2025 at 7 PM?
I'll make that motion, Chairman.
Second.
Mr. Smacedow,
Yes.
Mr. Akari, Mr. Quillen,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens,
yes,
Chairman Terhune.
Yes. And immediately following this, we're going to do a quick training. And then last but not least, may I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
I'll second it.
All concur.
Awesome. Thank you.